Oye, papi, how you doing? Congratulations! You have successfully grown your first avocado seedling. Now you want to know, how long do I have to wait for this tree to produce beautiful, delicious avocados like these ones right here behind me? The short answer is 10 years. I know. The long answer is a bit more complicated, because some avocado trees, like the ones here in my grove, produce fruit in year 3 or 4. Other trees might not produce to year 12, 15, 20. They may never produce fruit. So if you don't want to wait 10 years, I'm going to show you a technique where you can get fruit in year 4. Your 3-year-old tree will give you fruit. For the non-believers out there, and I know I'm going to hear from you in the comments, this is a 3-year-old avocado tree behind me here. And look at what we have here. Right here is this tree's first ever avocado growth. It fruited this year. It's 3 years old. Those of us who don't want to wait, let me get this out of the way so you can see me. Those of us who don't want to wait 10 years for their fruit use a technique called grafting. In grafting, we plant a mature tree into a seedling. We actually plant a tree in a tree. How does grafting a tree give you your fruit 2/3 faster than if you just let it grow naturally from seed? Fruit is part of the tree's reproductive system, but your tree is not going to produce fruit until it reaches sexual maturity. And for avocados, that's somewhere after year 10. Just like your 7 or 8-year-old child, this tree ain't interested in girls yet. This tree behind me, on the other hand, all it wants to do is reproduce. 2 months ago, if you looked at this tree, it was covered in beautiful yellow flowers. And when those flowers open as female and they're receptive to pollen, they're out here like, oye, papi. And then a tree like this guy here, my Monroe, he'll be open as male at the same time as Simmons is female, right? And he'll just be like, how you doing? Then, right in front of all the other trees in the grove, in broad daylight, with the help of a honeybee, the Monroe flowers deposit their pollen onto the female Simmons flowers, and I get fruit. So wouldn't it be great if I could make an exact genetic replica of this tree and plant an already sexually mature tree so that I'm getting fruit as quick as possible? So let me show you what we do. First, we take our seedling, we cut it off so we just have a little bit of a stump here, a little bit of a stem sticking out. Then I got to find a suitable cutting on my tree. Now, I want to plant Simmons because these are early variety. This Monroe, I don't start harvesting until October. These I start harvesting in late June, early July. And I want some more early varieties so you guys can start getting fruit earlier in the year. So now I have to find a suitable candidate, a suitable cutting to splice into my seedling. I think I see a good one up here. Yep. I really don't like messing with these trees too much when they have fruit on them. I want to just leave them alone. But here I've just taken a cutting off the end of a branch. And the reason I like this cutting is because it's got some new little growth pushing through, but it's not quite through yet. And if I just remove the leaves, now I've got a cutting. This little cutting will grow into a complete tree. It will be a genetic replica of this tree. It could be argued it's the same tree, just down the street a little bit. Let me give you a close-up of my hands to show you how we do this. I must have forgot to hit the record button, so I never recorded myself grafting that tree. So here I'm going to do another one for you. But here's what I said in the video. We cut the stem off, right? Because this is going to be our roots. This is going to be everything below the ground. And then we also have our cutting. Now the first thing we do is cut a slit. We're going to cut a slit in this seedling. And we're going to cut a wedge in our cutting, and we're going to insert the wedge into the slit. The slit you make a little off center. You don't go dead center with it. You want one side of the cut to be a little bigger than the other. Now, I usually use a razor blade, but I'm out here kind of refilming, so I'm just going with my little pocket knife here. But you make a nice little cut like this, and you want to open up so you have enough room that you can slide your cutting in, okay? So then here I have my cutting. I want to match the diameter, so I'm going to cut this off a little higher. Then I'm going to make 2 cuts to form a wedge. 1, 2. I had a professional here actually grafting up some trees for me, and he wound up with a 90% hit rate, and he showed me a little trick. He don't put the graft in directly straight. He puts it a little bit at an angle. The next thing we do is we take some grafting tape. You could get this at your local gardening store, whatever. Gardening Center, Home Depot. I don't know if Home Depot has it, but you can order it on Amazon, whatever. Stretch it out a little bit, and we're gonna wrap the cutting into the seedling. So just around like this, snug but not too tight, but definitely not loose either. You want it to be snug. Then in order to tie it off nice and tight, we just put a few twists in the tape. That kind of strengthens it a little bit. You just go around, make a knot, tighten it off somewhere around the middle. There you have a grafted tree. You just saw me convert a seedling into a grafted tree. You just saw me convert a tree that would take 10 or more years to produce fruit to a tree that will produce fruit 3 years from now. In fact, this will even produce flowers next spring. And the reason this guy takes 3 years and this guy takes 10 is because this is already sexually mature. It's a cutting from this adult tree behind me. This one has to grow to sexual maturity before it could produce its first fruit. You now have the answer to your question. You know it takes 10 years or more to get fruit from a seed-grown avocado tree. You know that a grafted tree like these two will start giving you fruit in year 3. And you also know the reason. Because the seed-grown tree takes 10 years to reach sexual maturity. But with grafting, we kind of cheat. We take a cutting from a tree that's already sexually mature. We are planting a sexually mature tree. Now, maybe you're the type who doesn't want to tinker and try this grafting process. If that's the case, but you still want an avocado tree, go to a local nursery, garden center, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. And if you don't want to graft your own, and you don't want to go to a nursery and grow your own tree, you'd rather just go right to the supplier for your avocados, go to guacfarm.com. GUACFARM.com. From mid-June through January, we sell our avocados there. I also sell these beautiful t-shirts, we have stickers, and sometimes, only sometimes, when we have a few extra trees laying around, I'll have those for sale as well. It's Friday afternoon, and I had a very busy and a somewhat trying week this week. So I'm going to take the rest of the day off and go down the Everglades and do a little fishing. While I do that, you go to guacfarm.com, and I will see you on the next video.